Okay, let's have something new that I wanted to try. Have you ever seen one of those Let's Play videos where somebody plays a video game in front of you on a YouTube video? I wanted to do something like that, but with books. What better to start with than the complete Chronicles of Conan by Robert E. Howard. Now, this is a big book. It's like it'll take you as long to read as the average Final Fantasy game, but this is a book, which is a completely different thing. Now, I'm going to step ahead with one of my empty magic card sleeves for a bookmark, and I'm going to start from the first story in this book, The Hyborian Age. Okay, so basically, Robert E. Howard flat out states that he's not trying to advance any theory in opposition to accepted history. So essentially, he's trying to say that this is complete bullshit. Okay, and he goes on. He goes on to say that he he wants to prepare the history of the Hyborian Age to give his characters some a greater aspect of realness. Let's see. He wants to make a real flesh and blood character. He has some really lofty expectations here, this Robert E. Howard, but he's earned it over the years. He got a movie adaptation after he died, so I guess he's allowed to do something like this when somebody like me is just reading his book and hasn't even been published yet, even though I've written a few things. But anyway, he's never violated the facts or the spirit of the history he has set down. It goes on about the Nemedian chroniclers of the pre-cataclysmic age, of which little is known. Little is known about this cataclysmic age, and there's a lot of civilizations dominated by the kingdoms of Camellia, Valusia, Verulia, Grunda, Thule, and Camoria. They speak a similar language, arguing a common origin, apparently. This is new. There were other kingdoms equally civilized, it says, but inhabited by different and apparently older races. Okay, there's barbarians, which are the Picts, who live in islands, the Atlanteans, who live on a small continent. Are these the same Atlanteans that are fabled in legend? Only time will tell. Okay, there's vast regions of unexplored land. It goes on about the east of Grunda, whose people are less highly cultured than those of the kindred kingdoms, and they live in the desert. And in the desert there's tribes of primitive savages. A little bit racist there. Far to the south is Thurian culture, pre-human in its nature. There's so many races here. I mean, Pauline Hanson would have a heart attack if she lived in Hyboria. I'm afraid we're being swamped by Atlanteans. Oh dear. A little outdated Aussie humour. Anyway, so there's bickerings, wars between Valusia and Camoria, which were mentioned earlier, and there's conquest by the Atlanteans apparently. Okay, then the cataclysm rocked the world. Oh, so this is the cataclysm that was mentioned earlier. Here's one I prepared earlier. Volcanoes broke forth and terrific earthquakes shook down the shining cities of the empires. Whole nations were blotted out, and nobody could use the airports because the smoke from the volcanoes blocked the air paths. If they invented airplanes back then, I'm assuming they fly on dragons or giant birds like they did in Lord of the Rings. The barbarians fared a little better than the civilized races. The Pictic Island, the inhabitants of the Pictic Islands of the sorry. Oh no! But a great colony of them settled among Belusia's southern frontier. Oh, good! To serve as a buffer against a foreign invasion was untouched. Hmm. There's a lot of there's mention of thousands of tribesmen and ships going from Atlantis. Oh, so Atlantis sinks in this. I should have seen it coming. Ah, thick jungles covered the plains of the western part of the continent. There's ape men and apes. I like how they make a clear distinction between ape men and apes. I mean, that's something you need to know. Okay. There's also the the Picts are powerful again. Have some success, have some consistency, Robert E. Howard. Okay, war science. Now that's a word. Population and war science. They have none of the Atlanteans' artistic nature. Oh no, you'll not find these men at the opera. Okay, but they're more practical and prolific. Oh, gee. That's what lack of arts funding gets you. They left no pictures painted or carved in ivory, as did their enemies, but they left no remarkably effective flint weapons in plenty. The Stone Age kingdoms clashed. Oh no, will the Flintstones be safe? A series of bloody wars. Okay, so there's the cataclysm has ended, and now there's a nation of savages. The Picts again carrying on continual warfare with the Atlanteans, who are now savages, and it goes on like this. The Lemurians, oh no, the Lemurians are toiling as slaves of their ancient masters. Good lord. The far south is still veiled in mystery. Untouched by the cataclysm, its destiny is still pre-human. Again with the pre-human stuff. Robert Howard's big on the pre-human stuff. No, the first mention of the Zemri. Now this is new. Hear about the world the discounted clans of apish savages. Again with the apish savages. Robert E. Howard's a bit racist here. In the far north, another people are coming into existence. At the time, there's mention of the Neanderthal, there's snow apes. I guess they're talking about the evolution of a new kind of people. Could this be the Chimerians? I don't know. Let's find out. 1,000 years under the left seemed to be a wild country of jungles, lakes, and torrential rivers. Among the forest-covered hills of the northwest, wandering bands of ape men without human speech or the knowledge of fire or implements. Okay, so that's what happened to the Atlanteans, and they're going on with their merry. They've devolved into cave-dwelling savages, apparently. Oh wait, so that's happened to the Picts as well. So apparently there's been this massive cataclysm that so far that's essentially devolved the people into ape men. But will there be more of this rambling backstory? Find out in the next episode of Let's Read Conan the Barbarian.